Hi everyone, welcome to our 60-day DevOps course. Today is our day 1 class and the topic is DevOps Fundamental, and today's class is very important because if you don't understand DevOps Fundamental, you can't become a DevOps engineer. So make sure you watch until the end. And today's videos will cover the following topics. What is DevOps? Difference between SDLC versus DevOps, CI/CD concept, DevOps tools overview, and we'll show a real-time workflow where we use DevOps. So before I start the video, just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel because after complete the 60-day DevOps course, I will also create cloud and DevOps related video which will help your professional career. So don't forget to subscribe the channel. What is DevOps? So DevOps is a combination of Dev and Ops. So what is DevOps? So DevOps is a development. So it is coding and building feature, and Ops is the operation and deploying, monitoring and infrastructure. So here is I also put a definition of DevOps. So DevOps is a cultural and technical approach that aims to integrate software development, dev and IT operation ops to shorten the software development lifecycle and provide continuous delivery with high quality. So summary is our main goal is to make our development process is faster. So that's why we are using DevOps. So in DevOps, there is some key concepts. So one is like continuous integration, which is called CI. One is called continuous development or continuous delivery, which is CD. And infrastructure as a code will create total infrastructure by coding. So this is called IAC, and monitoring and feedback. So in real world example, if we imagine building a website, so first what we have to do, a developer will do the codes, then operation team will deploy this app to the server. So in traditional setup, what we'll do, like there is the delay and miscommunication, but when you are using DevOps, then developer and ops will work together and use automation tools like Jenkins, Docker, GitHub Actions, and deploy in a minute is a infrastructure in a day instead of in a minute. So when you're using DevOps, we can deploy the our website in a minute, but when you're using previous old approach, then it will take less than a day or basically. Okay, so let me explain with the example, then we can understand what is DevOps. So before DevOps, when we are using traditional way, so developer will build the code here developer will build a website using PHP and MySQL 7. So after they build the website, they will send to testing department, and tester will test those code, and when they find everything is okay, they will send this to the system admin to deploy to the production. But when system admin try to deploy this website to the server, they found that this server is not working with MySQL 7. They need MySQL 8. So they will tell developer to change some code to, instead of using MySQL 7, to use MySQL 8. So developer will do the change and send it to the tester again, and tester will test the code and send to the system admin section, and they will deploy the code. So we can see this is slowing process, and when developer doing the code, tester will stop, and system admin or operation team will also not doing any work. So this is slowing approach, and it will take more time, and one team is dependent to another. So when we come DevOps, this thing will do automatically, and we don't need to wait anything. So now go back to the document. So we can compare our SDLC, software development lifecycle, which is old approach, and DevOps, which is the current approach. So what is the difference? Is the feature? So teams collaboration in before SDLC, SDLC have waterfall model or agile model. The DevOps and Ops is separate. So DevOps section and operation section are working separately. But in DevOps section, Dev and Ops are work together. And delivery, so it's slower and manual because one team depend to other team, and DevOps is fast and automated system. So feedback is late and it's a continuous and real time. So tools they are using like manual testing and scripting, and in DevOps they are using CI/CD, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, etc. So like if I see the diagram explanation, so before like when we are doing any website or application, first we need to do some planning, then we doing deployment and doing testing, then doing deployment and maintenance. This is like traditional approach. So like when they are doing planning, development team is waiting, and when development are doing coding, so testing team is waiting for the deployment, and when testing is like testing or deployment, when like testing is doing, then deployment team are waiting and other team also waiting. So that this is like slowing process. So because one team is waiting for another. So in DevOps cycles, what is doing? They like plan, develop, build, test, release, deploy, operation, everything is automated. So like in DevOps section, one term is called CI and CD. So what is the CI and CD? So CI is a continuous integration. That means our application will be continually integrated, and its description is automatically test and managing the code. So like developer doing the code and push the code to the GitHub. This section basically is continuous integration, and after developer done everything, when like operation team will deploy this thing, that will be basically CD, that means continuous delivery and continuously deployment. So automatically delivering or deploying to server. So this is basically CI/CD, and this is a very common question in interviewer when you are like applying for any DevOps jobs. So like an example of workflow, so like a developer push a code to GitHub. This is like Jenkins DevOps approach workflow. So developer will push the code to GitHub. Jenkins is triggered to a pipeline. Then they build the app, run a test, and if test is passed, then deploy the server. So like before we will understand what is workflow, we will also show this in an image. That before I showing this, let me show the CI/CD one before. So like this is a like a continuous approach to deploy application. So like here is a source code. When developer doing any code and push to the GitHub, so this is source code. Then this source code will build, then they will deploy a server for testing. This is staging server. Then after staging is like testing is passed, then it will deploy to the production server. So like up to this point, you can also mention here, this is continuous integration because they are doing the code. So coding section is the continuous integration, and after doing the code, we need to test, or we don't want to test, or we make the test automated. Everything is like CI CD portion. Okay, so this portion is basically CD and this portion is CI. So in the deployment section, like this staging section and this production section. So staging section is basically testing section. So in like from this section to deploy this section, if we do any like manual intervention, so like after staging server, someone need to test or PM need to be applied manually. So if any manual approval need, then it is called continuous delivery. But when we don't need any manual intervention, so when we testing the code, like if we use Selenium or something, then automatically will deploy to the production. So there will no manual and like intervention is needed. Then this is called continuous deployment. So it is continuously processed. So there is no manual approval need. So this is basically CI/CD abbreviation and how CI/CD work. So now go back to document. So we can see the workflow now, understand. So developer push the code, Jenkins will build and run the test and pass the test. If they pass the test, then it will deploy. So like CI/CD, they will use Git. So like here is a Git commit command and Git push. So after push the code, like deploy the production. So just I put a command for showing. So like we need to remember one thing. So DevOps is not a tool, it's a culture and automation. So DevOps is just a cultural technique to make our development process automatically and faster. So where is CI/CD? CI is for testing and building the code, and CD is the deployment automatically and semi-automatically. And our target or aim is faster release, few bugs, and happy user. So now we are talking about DevOps tools we are using and overview. So let me go back to the like image again, then we can come back again here. So like we are showing an image here. So like when we are getting anything, we already told we do a plan. So when we are doing plan, we are mainly use Jira, and for communication we are using Slack. Okay, so then after planning, developer will doing the code and push to GitHub. So in section, like we are using VS Code for like coding or something, and we are put those code in GitHub repository. So we need to understand GitHub, and we do also understand some Git command. So these three techniques we'll discuss, and there is out there also some software like a GitLab and Bitbucket. These are also most commonly used, but we are like learning in this course GitHub, Git, and VS Code is just code editor. Then after like doing the code, we need to make the code is build section basically. So what, like when I'm making in a website, there is lots of file. Okay, so it is difficult to like copy from one to another. So we'll make it like zip or something. So here is called like artifact. Instead of telling zip, we are doing is artifact, and it's basically in doing build section. So lots of file, they are make a one file is called build section and artifact section. Here is lots of software out there, Apache and AWS Coolbit is AWS software, and Gradle is also used. We are using Maven, and also we are using AWS Coolbit when are using like AWS section. So after like build the code and artifact, we need to test it. So we'll deploy this build to a testing server. So then we do some testing. So if we do like automatical testing, then we use Selenium is the most commonly used. There is some other like APM, JUnit, lots of other tests out there. So like this is mainly done by QA. So we just know to like which software is doing something, just give a brief idea. So after doing the test, it will deploy to the like production server. So for that purpose, we need to understand what is Docker, how Docker work, Kubernetes, and in cloud there is like AWS, Google Azure, Google Cloud, and Azure. So in this cloud section, we will know the AWS because AWS is mostly like recognized and is like most powerful, even though it's little bit critical, but is most powerful in the other cloud, and most of the company are using AWS. Okay, so deploy section, so the software will be deployed. So like after deploy, like we need to like operate it, like if we need more server or more CPU or more container. So if one container is crashed, how another container will be created. For this purpose, we need to use operation section. So in operation section, Kubernetes will do everything if we use Docker deployment, and there is Ansible section, like Ansible will run any patch or any software, so or anything, but like maintain purpose we use Ansible. And all infrastructure is like if we think is AWS, we need to create a EC2, we need to create a RDS, we need to create a Route 53 account. Everything is done by code when are using Terraform. So Terraform is a infrastructure as a code. So if we use this, we can do total infrastructure. Like if we need one server, two server, one RDS, anything we need, we can do by Terraform. We will also understand Terraform in this course. We will also understand Ansible and also Kubernetes. There is some other other software, so Puppet, Chef, and Plummy, but we will use these three For operation is Terraform and Ansible, and Kubernetes we will already learn here. So like after like operation, we need to also monitoring the if anything is going down, like if our server is using more memory or more CPU, or any server is going to down. So everything will be need to be monitored. So is monitor section, we need to use Prometheus. So Prometheus is like take everything from the like production server, like here is a like is deploy server. Prometheus will take all information to the Prometheus server and give a output by like text wise. So like it is a little bit harder or not smoother to like watch text based. So for like text to graphical, Grafana is implemented. So we will learn in this course Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring purpose. And this total CI/CD portion is basically, this section basically is we are called CI, and we call this portion is for CD. So development section is CI and operation section is CD. So this total process is maintained by Jenkins or like Circle CI or Bamboo or Terraform CI. Basically, these are the main heart who control the full process. So CI/CD main application is Jenkins or any other CI/CD tools like Circle CI, Bamboo, and Jenkins is the mostly commonly used in every company. So Jenkins will do everything. Basically, Jenkins will order to anyone to do these things, and they will do this. Like Jenkins will tell Maven to build the artifact. Maven will build the artifact. Jenkins will tell Jenkins will tell to Ansible to deploy a container to Docker server. So they will do. So basically, Jenkins will order anyone to do the action, and Jenkins will like observe everything. So this is the heart of the CI/CD. So now like go back to our document. Sorry, not this one. So DevOps tool overview here, we like stage for planning stage we will using Jira, and it's a project and issue tracking. Then developer section we will understand what is Git command, and we will use GitHub or GitLab, and it's a source code management. So developer will code to push to the like GitHub. Then at build stage is we will understand Maven, Gradle, and NPM. This is building automation. Then CI/CD will understand Jenkins and GitHub action. This is like a purpose is automate testing, integration, and deployment. So we understand CI/CD is the main component of a like DevOps. For testing we use Selenium, JUnit, PHP unit. So it is make the test automated. So deploy section we are using Ansible and Terraform. So it will deploy and maintain the infrastructure. Then containerize, we will use containerize because when doing any application we need to make an image. Everything will be done by Docker. So containerize this application doing by Docker. And orchestration we use Kubernetes. There is like some out there in cloud. So if we use AWS, then we use EKS. This like Kubernetes infrastructure is already created. We just need to deploy the application, but we need to pay for that. So if we use AWS, then we can use EKS. If we use like Google Cloud, then we can use GKE. Or if we use Azure, then we can use AKS. So manage, containerize at scale in a cloud. For monitoring purpose, we use Prometheus and Grafana, and ELK is for logging purpose. So we will like capture our log to anywhere. This portion is done by ELK. Then log and performance for monitoring. Then alerting system. So alerting is like if any server is taking more resources or any server is going down, then system admin will need to notify. For that purpose, we are using alerting system. So alert manager or PagerDuty is the alerting system. It's like basically going or sending an email or any text for that incidents. So like real-time workflow. So how the real-time workflow is going. So let me go back to the image again. Then we'll be back again here. So now scroll down. So like I always prefer to, like if I use practical or demonstrated by image, that will more like user friendly to understand. So here I explain 2 or 3 practical project to understand properly. So like when a developer doing any code, they will push code to the GitHub. We already know this. So Jenkins will pull this code from GitHub. Then Jenkins will build an artifact by Maven, and pull that artifact will copy to Ansible server. And in this Ansible server, there is also installed Docker. So this Ansible will create a image with this artifact which already copied in here. So Ansible will create a image by Docker and push this image to Docker Hub registry. So Docker Hub registry is like all our image will be stored here. Okay, so then anyone can pull that image and deploy the application. So Ansible will push this image to Docker Hub. So this portion is basically our CI. So here CI portion is more. So after pushing the code, we need to deploy this image to any server or any Kubernetes or anything. So like this Ansible server tell Kubernetes to pull this image from the Docker Hub and deploy a container or whatever. So like our target is deploy the application or deploy the website. So this portion is basically CD. Okay, so this is the basically professional workflow when I'm using any application. I will also give another example. This is another example. So developer will push the code to GitHub. So Jenkins will pull the code. So I here use another like Jenkins slave server. So like showing the example in easier way. So in this server, I install like Docker and Maven and some other tools also. So when we will do the project, then it will clear understanding. So like after like Jenkins will pull the code to GitHub and make the artifact by Maven, and also create a image by Docker and push this to Docker Hub. So like this is our CI portion. Okay, so now we need to deploy the code. So the Jenkins server will tell Kubernetes to pull the code from Docker and deploy it to the production. So here I use EKS. So it's the AWS feature. So it's already ready-made Kubernetes cluster. So our website will be deployed in this EKS and it is running. So now we need to monitor this Prometheus and Grafana. So it will Prometheus communicate to the Kubernetes cluster and check everything is working properly, and we'll give the feedback. So now if we use alerting manager, then it will also check is everything okay. If it found anything, then they will send a email or any text message. And like this is a server, this is a server, like this is a server. So if we need any software to install or any patch need to be installed, this thing done by Ansible. So it is easier to maintain the work. So when we will do Ansible, we will make it clear, and we will also see some practical. Then we can easily understand what is the like function of the Ansible. And like we need to create the EKS cluster, we need to create the EC2, and we need to also create this EC2. All these thing is created by Terraform code. So instead of using go to AWS console and like click, we need to create AWS, we need to create EC2, EKS, everything we will done by code. So we are like infrastructure is a code, so it will make our life easier. Okay, so this is another example. So let me show another example. So here is another example, like developer push the code. So it's a local PC. So developer doing the code. So here is some like Laravel project. So Laravel dependency installed in our local PC. So developer doing this code in local PC, then push this code to Docker Hub. So here is same way Jenkins is main master Jenkins, and there is a slave Jenkins. So this Jenkins will order this one. Sometimes we are using this because if our server resources is less, like here is 2 CPU, so we need more CPU or something. So we will use 2 CPU, and sometimes also it will easier to work if we use another Jenkins node. We can understand when we will do some practical. Okay, so these will basically Jenkins, and this Jenkins will create everything. So it will pull the code and push it here. This is like staging or testing server. So they tester will test something. So if they said everything is okay, if yes or no, if they say everything is yes, then they will deploy the production. If they say no, then Jenkins will not deploy it to the production. And when Jenkins will deploy to production will pull this code from GitHub. So this is another approach. So every company have some way to do the process. So I showing here 3 process. I will also add some more project when we are complete this course. So let me go back to the documentation. So here is our real-time workflow. So scenario is deploy a Node.js app using DevOps. So first, developer push the code to GitHub. So this CI portion also. So Jenkins will detects the push via webhook, runs pipeline. Everything will be understand when we see this module like webhook or pipeline. We can understand. Just we can get an overview idea from this starting class. So Jenkins will, what will do? Jenkins will put the code. That means Jenkins will take the code, then run some unit test, then build the Docker image with this code, then push it to Docker Hub. And Ansible connect to the EC2, prepare Kubernetes manifest file. Terraform will connect to create EC2 by code, and Docker runs the container, and Kubernetes EKS deploy, update or containerize, and Prometheus plus Grafana will monitor the CPU, memory and resource time, and Alert Manager send Slack alert if issue detected. So if any server is going down or taking resource more, then they will let us know what is going on by sending email or SMS. So this is our DevOps fundamental class. So you will already get this module in this repository. I will also mention this URL in YouTube video details section. So next day we will understand what is Linux and some basic commands in Linux. So that's all for our today's class. So if you found this video is helpful, please like, share and subscribe to stay updated with more DevOps and AWS tutorials. See you in the next DevOps video.